and start. And I'm gonna leave.
We on? Hello and welcome to the finals of Merc Academy Gold JRGC versus Rat Tactics. Looks like Rat Tactics is here on the blue side. Bans are already coming out. Ready or not, going into draft, Lulu Soraka off the table, Anivia Wukong coming up back for JRGC. Hemo, what are your predictions for tonight?
I don't know. I kind of been thinking about it for a minute. I definitely could see both teams winning. Like, I could see a world where Rat Tactics does win. I think JRGC definitely are the favorites going into this. But if I had to guess, I would say 3-1 JRGC. That's my guess. But I can definitely see like Rat Tactics getting some wins with especially certain pocket picks they have. But we are seeing the Anivia just first ban and then Wukong next. And we're not a glass, but yeah, they're gonna first pick Ash, and I think it's looking pretty solid bands coming out. I'm a little surprised about Galio first phase though, only because he's not really the best like blindable champ, but yeah, we'll have
You
to
don't
see.
think so?
I mean, he just has unless you're gonna play it support, right? I guess I was mainly saying that from mid lane. So yeah, I guess if they want to leave it up, but I don't know if their support plays it. At least when we were looking at them, it was mainly their mid lane that plays it. But you play Galio into like you pick Galio, you pick Yon, Yasuo, stuff like. I think that's actually what we did against them, and then
Yeah.
it's a really tough lane. But definitely strong champion, but just definitely has some like really bad matchups, right? But
Yeah. Well, I mean, we Rat Tactics has elected to draft the Ash, force JRGC, not even force, but allow them to take the Jinx here. Ziggy once again in a situation where they get to play their Jinx, I guess begrudgingly in a way. Jarvan coming out to respond to this Amumu pick. And it looks like Rat Tactics is sort of shifting into the standard comp that we've seen from them for the past few series. So we'll see how JRGC is able to handle it, being more of a team fight based comp that they are versus the pick comp that Rat seems to gravitate towards.
we do see the Vel'Koz coming in, and I think the main thing for going into games against JRGC specifically is just they always are going to give their top laner counter pick, at least like almost every game I've seen and all the games we played. If it was available, they would do that. And this could be the Diana mid again for sure. I mean, I guess it's probably gonna have to be with the Mumu jungle locked in. And yeah, I'm assuming they're gonna be banning out top laners here for the side of Rat Tactics, because if they leave all these though I guess the 4 main champs he plays top, then that's gonna be I think pretty bad having to last pick. And we do see
Yeah.
Narc ban coming out.
Probably Narcosante coming out here in phase 2. Very interesting here to see how Rat Tactics is one of the only other teams in the league, Mar being the other, to actually take games off of JRGC in the regular season. As a holistic view, yeah, they took a game off of them in the first week. I think they were still reconfiguring. I think this was around the Bob era. So we didn't, I don't think we actually got to see the mashy Burbs lane. So with that much of an upgrade, it'll be interesting to see how they do. I could be wrong though about that.
I'm assuming they're going to ban Aurelia second here, because those are definitely the 2 picks at least that are kind of most worrying, like Renekton and Aurelia, especially.
I could see that happening here.
Yeah, just especially considering what he's going to play up there. But they're going to ban the Tryndamere instead. But
I mean, it seemed to be something that you guys dealt with. I didn't think it was like an issue, but it seemed to be permaban. So was there a reason behind that?
Well, because when we were going into this draft, we weren't really mainly, I wouldn't say worried necessarily is the right word, but their top laner definitely had like it was like, I think it was like, I don't remember the exact number, but it was like 80 or 90% games on like Renekton, Jax, Aurelia. So we were like, okay, we're gonna ban Renekton in first phase because he's like the most blindable one of the three. And
Mhm.
then their top laner always last picks. So that's why they always take red side. So they always last pick their top laners. We'll just ban Jax Aurelia phase 2, and then if he wants to play Tryndamere every game, he can play Tryndamere every game. That's kind of how we looked at it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was just some mixed calls. But I'll say like the Diana mid definitely shocked us when we played against it. I was not expecting that. I didn't see it really anywhere. So that could be like a little pocket pick maybe for them. But yeah, and like yeah, I mean, I guess it's not so much like I would say he's like the best or worst player. It's just more like his pool was more like finite in what he played, right? So it was easier to like pinch it. But yeah, we are seeing the Morgana come out here, and it is going to be the Cassante. And
Yeah, with that being left open, I assumed he would gravitate towards the Cassante pick here. It'll be interesting to see if that Irelia is going to come out in response.
yeah, I don't know how good the Aurelia, and he could play something completely different here, right? He
Yeah,
definitely has other champs, but those were like the main four that if he could play him in a decent matchup, and like Jax is like fine into Cassante, right? It's not like I don't think it's like really good, and he is going to go for the Aurelia game when it looks like.
I think where the Irelia succeeded, at least in the game against White Lotus Wisteria, against me specifically, was he was able to rotate to fights, get kills in those fights. Whereas in lane, it wasn't as domineering. It wasn't like a devastating lane to play into. It was his team fight capability that really showed where Nas succeeded and excelled. So I think if you can keep the fights down and just look for picks and stick to your pick comp rather than team fight comp, you're gonna have a scenario where Rat Tactics doesn't have to take these fights and doesn't give JRGC the kills that they want out of those fights.
Yeah, for sure. And I think both sides have a decent draft so far. Like I like both of them. The only main matchup right here is like I don't think Cassante or Aurelia is like I wouldn't see either one of those being like specifically like really strong into the other one. It's probably just like a skill matchup at the end of the day. But definitely this mid matchup I think is where a lot of it could be decided because like Vel'Koz is very immobile but long range, and it's only going to take like one gank or kill going to this Diana to make the lane like just almost unplayable on the side of Vel'Koz, right? So I think, yeah, just and this is kind of what we were talking about, or at least I was thinking in the last series, is just constantly blinding like comfort champs, but that just have like really varying matchups, like the Anivia, like the Vel'Koz and stuff like this. So we'll have to see how it's going to go this game. And I'll say also based on the last series, because the last series with JRGC was so long ago, but the last series with Rack Tactics, I don't think JRGC is going to make those same mistakes if they get in a lead like they did in some of the games that
Yeah.
Lotus had. So
I think that Rat Tactics needs to play this game, this series, very close to the vest. I don't think you are looking for team fights. I think that's where JRG excels. I think that Rat Tactics as a whole needs to find their picks, find those moments. You have the comp for it. Take those small fights.
yeah, and I would say also like JRGC, at least for me, like my outlook on it. I mean, we played them like a bunch. I think it was like 10
Yeah.
games in total or something. Or
so you guys scrimmed a lot or something?
No, well, no, I guess it was 9 games because it went
Oh, yeah.
2-1, and then it went to 5 games in the. So it was like 3, and then, or I guess 8 games. Yeah, my bad, but like 8 games, and then, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's like they're a really good team fighting comp, but they're a very good like 4-1 comp. Like they get their top laner last pick, they put him in a matchup that he wants, that he's like I'm confident in, and then he just like creates a lot of pressure on the side lane, and they play really well 4v4 with their top laner getting pressure inside. And that's how it was in almost all the games that we played against them for the most part. That's why most of the drafts that worked against them were like the hard engage. Okay, you can split for a little bit, but we're going to hard engage on your 4 and then force your top laner and then win fights that way. But yeah, for sure. We'll have to see. I think both teams kind of got what they wanted though in this first draft. Kind of maybe pulling out some champs like the Aurelia, like the Diana, the Vel'Koz that if it does really well, it could like warrant a ban in the next games for sure.
Yeah, it's JRGC has all the tools at their disposal to fight long, extended team fights around objectives. They have tons of alties here to go and continue fighting. It looks good for them if that's what Rat Tactics allow them to do. Thing is, I don't think Rat Tactics wants to play to that. That's not the strength that I see from them. The strength that I see is you get a pick, you look to push, then you rotate that pick into positional strength and get objective.
For sure.
Which I think is going to be a different look for JRGC to respond to. Because you have a lot of teams that tried to slam their head into the wall and fight JRGC in positions where they were weak and try to like take fights in enemy jungle, try to go beyond point vision and the vision line. And it just resulted in JRGC being able to reverse the fight and sweep it in their favor. And then, anytime that they can get a lead, they know how to keep. So it'll be very interesting to see how this goes.
For sure. I feel like we're probably got to be loading into the game here soon, so. Yeah.
Also, I was thinking we should probably maybe move to live room too, so that people know we're live. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, did you pause it?
Well, welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Here we go to game number 1, Rat Tactics versus Jolly Roger Ghost Crew. In the booth here is Hemo Mage Wonderland and C9 Moby White, myself. Going into first game, pretty excited here. It's going to be a banger.
Yeah, for sure. I think as we were talking about in draft, I think both teams kind of got maybe their specific champs they wanted. I wonder if they were like if they did a lot of if JRGC looked in drafts how they always like are blind picking these like control mage esque champs mid, and then they maybe have counters for them. But yeah, they got the Diana, the Aurelia, and then the Vel'Koz on the side of Rat Tactics. And I guess we didn't really talk much about the bot lane, but Tarek being picked, not a champion you see that often on support.
I mean, it's a strong support right now. One of the S tier supports, at least according to UGG and OPGG. So we'll see how JRGC operates with it. Currently, we're having some issues with the spectate. I think we're gonna try and reload into the game and see if we can spectate again. That might fix it. Give us a few moments. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to the live game here. We have CCAT going in on Zelmak. Zelmak has to flash away. If you're coming back, you will see now Ash has picked up 2 kills in the bot lane, getting first blood. I don't know if it was a double kill or if it was a kill later. Couldn't not tell you. We had a little bit of a spectate bug happening as we loaded in. We have resolved the problem as much as we can. We'll try and fix it between game 1 and 2. But fast kills here, it looks like, in the early game, and it looks like the top is battling it out. Flash coming out from Nazghost.
Yeah, getting the flash, and you see Rack Tactics off to a great start this series, just 2-0 for this Ash, and getting the flash out of the Aurelia, so does still have the TP, so he's going to be able to come back, and yeah, everything looking pretty solid besides this bot lane, I guess. Kind of sad that we missed that early on, like to see maybe it happened like sitting in the bush level 1 or hitting level 2 first, but yeah, I think great start for Rat Tactics.
Coinflip is going to have to potentially flash away here, but it is not going to get it off. Nazghost is going to pick up the kill, having teleported back to lane full health there, was able to take an extended trading, get the kill.
Yeah, a little greedy trying to overstay, maybe to crash that wave, and definitely going to bite him coming back here, having to teleport, getting the Sheen, but yeah, getting a kill in this Aurelia, and this is just what Nazghost wants, like going back getting Vamp Scepter and Fillable, so we'll have to see how he can transition that lead into something that can potentially carry this game, as we've seen him in the past.
It's almost a shame there that Coinflip doesn't burn Flash there. Could have saved himself the lane there. Looks like CCAT is looking here bot side as Mistborn is pushing up, putting himself in a very tough situation. Mistborn might have to flash away. Does not have it actually up yet, and it looks like shutdown might go over to CCAT. Damage coming down, but CCAT's going to flash in. He's going to kite him around, and the shutdown is going to eventually go over to CCAT.
Man, and that potion was taking the exact damage that Amumu's W was doing. But yeah, getting the Q over the wall there. I don't know if that was a spectator thing but that bandage toss looked so far off.
It looked very sketchy in my view, but I'm not sure what this matchup looks like. But Coinflip is going all out on Nazghost. Is getting the trades going. Nazghost is able to queue out, but Byzanti's here. Nazghost is going to be able to get the stun, but he's going the wrong direction right now. He is going to be able to queue back. Byzanski.
Oh no. That's just like, you just got to be sad if you're a Rat Tactics fan seeing that, burning 2 flashes to try to chase this Aurelia around. But yeah, CCAT, as you said, getting the shutdown, and now this gold lead is basically nothing. Yeah, just even gold at this point, and getting a kill on the Aurelia and the Amumu, and mid lane pretty much perfectly even for the most part right now. And
with this transition, Rack Tactics is going to be able to get all 3 Void Grubs here early in the game for the first set of Void Grubs. So
it definitely were able to take those away.
Yeah, they were able to transition that gank top into something at least. We'll see if they come back with anything else, but CCAT is up here, and Coinflip will need to be careful.
We do see Amumu coming in here.
And Ishtosh goes out and does miss. Coinflip's going to be able to get out of this fight.
Yeah, and to me, that one looked closer to hitting than the one bot lane. Like,
it could be an elevation issue where
yeah,
Zelmak here getting ganked is going to get Prison Mike is going to use the ulti to get the kill onto Zelmak, getting the assist going over to CCAT as well.
Yeah, well, you do see Prison Mike did end up taking Ignite this game. Didn't notice that loading in, but yeah, getting kind of a little freeze here for the mid. Probably wishing he could have crashed that one, but yeah, great kill on the side of JRGC. And yeah, I mean, they're just slowly coming back in this game, up like about 500 gold at this point.
I think that's the thing that you have to Oh, we have another pause here. Support needs to pause. Having issues with internet.
Uh-oh. But yeah, I mean, like, I think so far it's looking pretty good for the side of JRGC. They kind of came back from this early deficit they had in the bot lane and were able to get kills on their Aurelia and Diana, which is definitely exactly where they need them. And maybe some attention coming down to this Jinx. Kind of sad she wasn't able to get the shutdown on the Ashe there, but still overall great for JRGC right now.
Yeah. Right now, I mean, with the way Rat Tactics is playing it, it just feels like very pushed and aggressive. They don't need to be playing like that. It feels like they're just overextending or overstaying in areas when they have knowledge of where Amumu was. Like they knew Amumu was topside when doing Grubbies. So like there was no reason for Cassante to have to burn anything up there. He should have just
Yeah.
backed off earlier and let his way push into him. And bot side, you have to like know that Amumu's looking possibly to gank your lane to get that shutdown. So like getting hawk shots on jungle, you have to get vision, especially in that tri-bush. So
For sure. And the main reason I guess like that gank worked mid is because I guess Zelmac must have burned flashed earlier because he
Mhm.
didn't have it on that engage there, and I guess we just weren't able to see when that got burned, probably during when we were trying to fix everything. But yeah, I mean, not having flash there because that was pretty much just Aurelia, like or not Aurelia, Diana going in, CCing, and then just layering a Mumu out on top of that, and then you're pretty much done at that point. But still relatively even on farm, like down 10 CS top lane and about 10 mid, but for the most part, still relatively even in this game. Not much of a lead, and it's mainly going to see if this Aurelia and Diana can just take over in side lane this game because they're definitely getting most of the gold on their team. Man, it looks like the support was lagging, having like ping issues, and I think they are maybe trying to reload or reconnect into the game. So we'll have to see how this all works out or how long it's going to take.
Yeah. Well, Mashi has reconnected here, so the game hopefully should reconnect, restart here briefly. I think, in my opinion, Rat Tactics just needs to slow things down for them. Not let JRGC start snowballing. What do you think?
Yeah, and I mean, even just little things like I mean, I know I'm like make the same mistakes too, right? But it's like you were saying with Amumu, he's topside. You saw him walk into his topside. And even just like something as small as Vel'Koz instead of I don't remember if he was mid or even hovering towards the top side of mid, but if you're just hovering the bot side of mid, then it's that gank probably just doesn't happen, right? And
Yeah.
even just small things like that where can turn into a big advantage, like getting this snowball going on the Diana mid. And Diana mid is like once you get that snowball going into a champion like Vel'Koz, it's just gonna be really hard for her not to just jump on you on
Yeah,
cooldown.
exactly. You're on Vel'Koz. You're an immobile mage. There's no reason to be up in the middle of the lane without flash. Pazanski here. The game is unpaused. We'll have a little bit of a pause buffer, but
Yeah.
is spotted out by CCat. Is going to have to get out of the jungle. Should have no real issues here doing so. Has bought Prio. Diana might be able to collapse on this, but we should see how that plays out.
Yeah, no, Amumu is up a level right now, so should probably just even win this 1v1 in general. Yeah, and we just see him completely annihilating Pazanski here, and bot lane's going to be walking up as well.
Might even have to burn. Doesn't even have flash.
Doesn't have
So
flash.
sorry.
He's just probably going down
But
here. Yeah.
Ziggy is able to pick up the kill here. That's just another example of we're in places that we shouldn't be when we don't have the prio to be there, and giving kills over because JRGC is very good at capitalizing on mistakes and misplays.
For sure, and like it's just one of those situations like you said, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. As we see Aurelia going in here, and and it's kind of panning all over the place. But yeah, Aurelia just
Back and
kind of
forth.
autoing and not really getting much done into this Cassante, but into a decently sized minion wave as well. But yeah, trading the ult on Aurelia definitely
Yeah, this is going better than I would expect.
Mhm.
I guess Cassante does pretty decent into Irelia, or maybe it's just any tanky champ whatsoever. But
Mhm.
like she has 4 stacks passive going and still doing what feels like negative damage.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean Cassante just strong champion in general. Was a decently sized midway or minion wave for the side of
Mhm.
Cassante, like definitely helping. But yeah, as you said, just going in and kind of just like hits the ult Qs and just stood there autoing. So just trading like that. And you got to think too, Aurelia at this point doesn't have much damage, right? It's just Vamp Scepter.
Yeah, and it looks like coin flip is going to go all out here, but doesn't have Nazgos low enough.
Mm-mm.
CCAT is here to back up this gank from Pazanski, but it looks like Nazgos is pretty pushed in. So looks like both junglers should probably reset, but nope. CCAT is going to come here topside. Coinflip does go unstoppable and is able to get out of here, but CCAT wants to continue this fight,
Does
and
have the
Pazanski is here to
Amumu ult.
back this up.
Yeah, they're probably just gonna crash this wave and just
Um,
try to reset
Vel'Koz
here.
is here now, and this is now a 3v2
Mm,
with Grubby's on the line.
yeah, I figure Aurelia's just gonna reset, like no mana, teleport back, and maybe they'll try to play for these grubs. And we see Prison
Prison
Mike just
Mike is caught out, has to burn
ooh,
Flash. CCAT coming
ooh,
here is going to get the ulti
ooh,
off, and
ooh.
ulti's coming downtown from Ziggy as well as Curse of the Sad Mummy and Prison Mike's ulti go off with Moonfall.
Man,
And
just
Nazgos is able to pick up a kill here, spiraling
yeah,
this game to 6-2.
yeah, and it's kind of just starting to snowball out of control. Like, just not enough. I would say even just damage on the side of Rat Tigers right now, but also just very squishy. Like, we just see a Mumu going in having fully completed Leandries already in this fight, and we do
Well, I
see
think
Cass-
that comes specifically from having um, the shutdown bot side, and Coinflip
Mhm.
here is going to be caught out, is going to have to flash away, is going to be taken relatively low,
Ooh,
but CCAT is going to get popped
I
by
don't.
Zelmak there.
Yeah, had the potion popping, so Landry's is gonna kill him. But yeah, like I feel like at this point you can't be trying to take these even fights. Like even Diana, like full completed item, a Mumu full completed item. But yeah, as I was saying, I think it's just like wrong fights to take at the wrong time. It's just really tough to fight in these full completed items. But they are going for this. They do get the Drake at least, so that is something.
Yeah, Mashisos will have to flash here, but CCAT is going to go in. He stayed in the fight, but CCAT's going to be taken relatively low here and is going to be burned down by a Death Ray. Flash for you is going as well, but is going to pop ulti here, I think it looks like. And Ziggy wants to keep this fight as well, but taken down to half health. A good execution of getting the Drake, but JRGC was able to pick up several kills there going back. At least killing Bazanski. So even when it's bad, it still somehow turns out okay for JRGC. Coin flip here, and Nazgos going back to head-to-head fighting here. A little bit of scrappy situation going on. Looks like JRGC and Rat Tactics have transitioned their bot lane to mid. Mistborn here might be caught out here, but is spell immune as Black Shield comes out, but it doesn't matter. Prism Mike is going to get the kill on. I'm sorry, that kill is going to go to CCAT, but Prism Mike will get the kill on to Mashy Sauce as big ulti coming out there. Another Moonfall from Prism Mike picking up lots of kills there for their team. Team going to 11-3 here on the red side, JRGC.
Yeah, and I mean, they started this game off right, 2-0, but then now just since then it's been 11-1, and now 11-3 in this game, grown it to over a 5K gold lead for the side of JRGC, and they're kind of just doing exactly what they want right now.
Yeah. And they're going to transition this Shelly up to topside. They are going to try and do potentially a dive here. Bring Flaccid for you up with ulti coming up here in a second. Dive should go off. President Mike going on to Coinflip, but they're not going to pursue this dive. They're just going to take the tower topside. Zelmak getting rooted here, a little overextended. Could get ultied here, but does not. Is able to get the shutdown on to Zelmak. Deathray taking Ziggy out.
Yeah, great shutdown there going to the side of Vel'Koz. A little maybe greedy on the side of Ziggy just to try to get this kill. Definitely wasn't needed, but great outplay for the side of Zelmak. And yeah, that's kind of what they need right now. They need to get kills on these carries because they just need this they need damage to get through this Aurelia, Mumu, and it's gonna be really hard even with Tark out on top. Like you're just going in with Tark ult, and I can see it being like very difficult to play these fights with not much real engage on the side of Rat Tactics. More just picks, like they land a Morg binding or maybe a knock up from Zelmak or yeah, but I mean they do have the Jarvan, but it's definitely gonna be harder to play. Yeah, we just see the item disparity. Like, basically, I mean, Diana's almost completed her second item, and Aurelia is like halfway to her second, and it's just like they're gonna start beating them with their wallets at this point.
Zelmak here potentially caught out, is going to die to Prison Mike. Not a great spot for you to be here as objective is going to spawn in 20 seconds.
Yeah, just very greedy walking up there. Like maybe throw a Q or a W, but to walk close and like try to auto the crab or something.
With no towers to defend you,
Yeah.
with nothing on your sides, no vision on the objective, it's very hard for you to step into this jungle when the enemy team has Diana Mumu.
Oh yeah, and you see as soon as I see him out of position, they just snap engage, and yeah, they're gonna get the second Drake for them this game. We do see a fight topside, but both this will be the slow death, but
Coinflip is going to have to ult here and flash, but he's going to get the shutdown with the help of Hazansky. Ult coming downtown from Ziggy is going to find Mashy Sauce. Mistborn is going to have to flash away from Bandage Toss, but JRGC is moving topside, looking to possibly defend this tower. But it looks like they are just going to reset into their jungle and reset to base.
yeah, Cassante is smartly backing off there. But yeah, I mean, we just see like Nos Ghost just almost 10 CS per minute at this point. Like if he didn't die there, he probably would have been very close to it. But yeah, just he's gonna be constantly splitting this game in the side lane, just 1v1 the Cassante. And yeah, I think Cassante can like match him for a while, but at a certain point, it's just gonna be too much sustain and too much damage on the side of Aurelia to where she's just basically gonna AFK this side lane, break turrets, and make them fight 4v4. And without Cassante there in the team fight, it's gonna be really hard for the side of Rat Tactics to like I feel like winning these fights because then it's only Jarvan going in, right? So they're gonna have to either get a 5v4 with a TP flank or potentially pick this Aurelia in the side lane before they try to do anything mid.
Going into game 2, maybe a small consideration here would maybe to pick away the Galio and ban the Diana. I don't even know if it's that big of an issue, but it is setting a lot up for Prism Mike, and just something to consider there.
Yeah, and they are looking on the Aurelia here.
The Nazgos will be caught out here by Zelmak and Pazanski. Pazanski dropping in with a Cataclysm to finish him off. Zelmak burning that Disintegration Ray, but Mistborn is caught out here with Prism Mike, but Coinflip is going all in, and he's not able to get much for it. Looks like JRGC is going to immediately go on to Drake, but they are on Vision, and they are getting low. Coinflip is still all out, looking to go in here. Bandage Tosser, Curse of the Sad Mummy is going to come out with Prism Mike getting the kill onto Mashy Sauce. Double kill going on over, again, once more to Prism Mike.
Yeah, and I feel like they are still hitting this Baron. Vel'Koz is going to be poking them down. Z getting a little low, but getting healed by the turret constantly. And I think they should be able to get this, but their damage on it is kind of low. They are keeping the Aurelia in here.
Prism Mike is getting really, really low there.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be careful. And the shutdown goes on over to Vel'Koz, who just gets the kill from poke damage.
Yeah, this is...
And Disintegration Ray almost taking the kill, almost taking the Baron as well. Brzezinski looking to chase down this Nazgos, and Nazgos is going on to Mistborn, but Nazgos is dead to Brzezinski, and it looks like Rat Tactics is trying to turn this game around on its head.
Yeah, Baron for 2 kills, but both kills being a shutdown is relatively maybe even in gold, but for the most part, still strong to have your Baron buff on your Jinx and 2 other members. So we'll have to see. Sucks that Aurelia didn't have it because that's like their main split pusher, but they are going to get this bot tier 1 as well. So that's definitely good. And they're going to be able to push out these waves to basically just cut the duration of Baron in half almost. And
yeah. Flaccid for You is going to get the stun onto Zelmak here. Disintegration rate coming out, but Zelmak is going to go down to the side of Ziggy.
Yeah, and it's just small plays like this where it's just like there's no reason to be on this mid wave this close. Like you don't have a turret to back off to, and they're gonna perma push the waves with Baron anyways. Like maybe you try to snipe the wave, but as soon as you see Jinx, like you just have to back off there, right? And they are pushing this mid tier 2 right now. And we're just gonna bandage toss to the Raptors, and we do see Aurelia just going back into her side lane.
Dark Binding is gonna catch Seacat here though. Curse of the Sad Mummy is going to come out, but not catch anyone too much over the side of JRC to pick off anyone. JRC cancels that fight, looking for maybe some flank here around the side from Irelia, but gets just a little bit of a deep ward, setting up the next fight for Drake here.
Yeah, and I would say JRGC on these counter pick solo lanes, they just always kind of do is to what is to be expected of them and like winning the counter matchup. Like they got the counter matchup mid and top, and that's just usually going to make the draft very hard to play. But we do see them kind of getting a little cheese bush here in the bot try, but I don't think much is going to happen in this. They're probably just going to take this Drake and then maybe push out waves, but Amumu is looking here on the flank.
I think, as Rat Tactics here, you need to know that
Sante caught out here.
Only sole point here for JRGC. You don't need to fight them. You only need to push mid and get mid tower. So I don't know if looking here for a 5v5 is the situation you want with mid just going in and Coinflip looking relatively low. But Disintegration Ray is coming out and it looks big. Several members going relatively low here, but Flaccid for You and Ziggy are going to get the cleanup as Ashe just wasn't able to be in the fight very long.
Yeah, and this Jinx is just outputting so much damage. Once she gets a reset, then it's basically like you just have to run away, right? And I mean, we see the Diana 8-1-3 this game, just really being a problem for the side of Rat Tactics, and honestly, um great champ into what Rat Tactics like to play mid as well. Like I feel like it would be pretty decent into Anivia as well. I mean, I'm not 100% sure on that, but seems like you could definitely have all in potential. But yeah, just looking like a great game from the side of JRGC. Maybe just a little overconfidence in like these Baron calls where it was like basically a 20-minute Baron like on spawn, and they're just sitting there hitting it while getting poked by Vel'Koz. But yeah, still everything going great for the side of JRGC on Soul Point or Ocean Soul, and yeah.
You almost have to wonder there if, just production asked the team to pause, and the Rat Tactics had like a little bit of momentum going, and then their momentum gets killed by us gassing in the pause, and then their support's internet issues twice. So you wonder if any of that has to come into effect.
Yeah, I mean it could, but if I feel like if you're getting affected by that, like the first minute of the series, then the series probably isn't going to go well to begin with, right? It's not like it's
Yeah.
like if it's like game 5, like 1 in the morning, and it's like we're paused here for like 15 minutes, then it's like everyone's getting antsy. But it's like it's like game 1. It's not a big deal. Everyone kind of like playing different things. And I wasn't really expecting the Tark to come out, but yeah, and I think they just drafted themselves a great team comp this game. Like they have. Because like you think with Jinx, you kind of need like a tank, but as long as you have everyone going in, it's basically the same thing, right? Like you have
hmm
Aurelia, Diana, Amumu all going in with Tark ult. Even if Jinx doesn't get hit by a Tark ult, it's like you have all these members diving in their backline to where Jinx is just gonna free hit because you can't just like ignore an Aurelia ulting on top of you and just autoing you to death, right? So it's gonna be really hard for them to play these fights if they can't just at least have pressure in one of these solo lanes for the side of Rat Tactics.
Well, yeah, and I think like we talked about going into this game that like we're, we're thinking about this in a way that like JRGC wants the 5v5. That's how they're gonna win.
Hmm.
But Rat Tactics, like I don't know how they're thinking about these fights, but you can't be thinking about them in a way that you're gonna be fighting 5v5. You have to be starting to think about these fights where you're looking for picks before you
Hmm.
try to take fights. You need to have a mana advantage where you're picking off Nazgos in the side lane or
Hmm.
catching out one of these pushier carries, and then you can look to maybe have a fight.
Yep. And
Or
the
even
moon caught
here,
out here.
where like Seacat's caught out right now, is able to manage toss in, but he is going to get picked off, and the kill is going to go over to Mistborn. And if Mashy Sauce is able to get out of this without taking much damage, or even dying, nope, which is not the case. Rat Tactics could have a very good look here at a solid fight.
Hmm.
Disintegration rate
Ooh.
coming out there from Zelmak is not going to catch a lot of damage. But support for jungle is not a bad trade.
Ooh. And I'll say especially the fact that the rocket was dodged. Jinx didn't get an assist on that, so did not get the passive proc. But coin flip a little caught out here, but does pull the Diana.
Does catch the Diana, but coin flip is going to die
Hmm.
over Ziggy. Is going to pick up the kill. Double kill going now over to Ziggy as Jinx gets excited, chasing down potential more kills here. And they are going to back off and reset and go to Drake as Seacat respawns.
Yeah, and it's hard to not see this just being basically a free Baron for the side of JRGC. All 5 members up, probably going to take this and then just in a minute take Ocean Soul and then probably just walk down and try to end the game. But maybe they can set up some vision around Dragon and at least maybe try to get a pick because as you were saying, like they do need to get these picks, but it's really hard to get picks when they just have barely enough vision even in their own jungle. Like their whole bot side is basically has nothing except for one pink ward by their tier 2 mid and a pink ward in the dragon pit.
The other problem that they might face here is that JRGC basically just has to death ball at this point.
Hmm.
It's a really solid counter into what Rat Tactics wants to do, which is pick off stragglers. So as long as JRGC stays as 5,
Hmm.
Tactics is going to have a very hard time.
You see Amumu and Aurelia will burn, and they're just engaging here.
And damage is coming down, but Rap Tactics is looking favorable here in this fight.
Jinx excited.
Multiple kills here going on over to the side of Rat Tactics.
Yeah, and a
Ma-
little bit of an
Mistborn.
overforce there. Definitely don't want to fight in these narrow choke points into Vel'Koz. I mean, you're just starting a fight, kind of picking out the Jarvan, but it just like, you're funneling all this basically into a direct line where Vel'Koz just lays the W and the ultimate on top and basically just shreds the whole enemy team. They need to get these flanks off. They don't want to fight front to back on the side of JRGC. They want like Aurelia flanking, Amumu flanking, and maybe Diana coming from the front, or any variation of one like from different sides. Because if they're
Mhm.
all coming in from the same angle, then it's easy for Vel'Koz just to shoot the laser straight at them, and that's it. I think what JRGC needs to do is they just need to send Aurelia to AFK a side lane like he normally does, break these towers, especially with Baron buff. Like they didn't even really need that Drake to begin with. They probably could have taken like an inhib or something and then just pressured. Like, of course they want it because they're winning, but it's just like at this point they just need to bring Aurelia to a side lane and then they just fight as four. And that's what JRDC does a lot, which works for them. But I feel like straight up team fighting into this comp in the wrong position, even though they're down a lot, it's still a Vel'Koz with 3 items.
Right. Looks like we got a little bit of fighting in the bot side. Like you said, Nazgûl's damage and sustain is starting to overcompensate the amount of armor that Coinflip has. Seacat here getting caught out is going to get Curse of the Sad Mummy, but shutdown on Mistborn and Mashy Sauce going down. Seacat is going to die to disintegration rate though, but Ziggy is excited and picks up a double kill.
Yeah. And see, this is exactly what JRDC needs to do. They just need to have Aurelia split to where he just pushes Cassante out, or to where Cassante needs someone, and they're still fighting here on this Cassante. He's gonna get the all out going, but Tarkelt coming in. Ooh.
Bazanski is able to get the shutdown, which is huge for the side of Rat Tactics. But they are going to lose multiple turrets and multiple inhibitors here as they try to defend.
And Jarvan just can't take this fight. She's just gonna sit there and hit the turret, and then probably fight him afterwards. So, and
Well,
Cristero does
Mistborn
hit,
is here
though.
now. Mashy Sauce here with the CC. Help keep Nazgûl in place. And Mashy Ghost is picking up the kill there, unfortunately.
And this is where JRGC plays best. I don't think they're particularly like an amazing team fighting team, which not that they're good or bad at it, but I just think they're so much better just playing side lanes. Like you have Diana as well, also an amazing split pusher, like with all the attack speed and just auto attack damage she does, just breaking structures. Then you have Aurelia in the side lane, and no one can match these side laners. And then you just have a Mumu, Jinx, and Taric just pushing mid waves. Even if they're just catching mid waves, it doesn't really matter because no one 1v1 on the side of JRGC can match either of these laners.
Yeah,
And then
I
once you
think
pull the pressure, as soon as you see Jarvan walk towards that bot lane, they just push up and they find a pick in the enemy bot jungle on Ashe, and then they just win. And that's how they win a lot of these fights.
we see Pings here going out, targeting Ashe, looking to try and catch Mistborn out once again. And you're absolutely right. You know, the way that JRGC plays this, you know, they have such a snowbally comp that if they can get ahead, they stay ahead. And we're gonna have to see if Rat Tactics, you know, are able to find holes in that strategy here in game one or and throughout the series. But game one is looking very in favor of JRGC right now.
Yeah. And they are trying to just walk up mid. They do hit the binding on Vel'Koz. Not much is going to happen. This just gets the black shield, walks out. But we have super minions coming in, and eventually these are going to be knocking on the Nexus turret, and someone's going to have to answer them. And there is a pretty big stacked wave bot as well. And
Drake
even right
up here in a
just-
minute. They might look to take inhibitor and reset to Drake, or
Mhm.
they might try and force an end, which could be a mistake here on the part of JRGC. You never know.
Yeah, I think at least 3 inhibs here, and then does burn the Q though. I can't tell if that executed.
Big
Getting a lot
damage
of
coming
poke.
out from CCAT. CCAT is able to get rid of the disintegration ray. Damage coming down here. Mashy Sauce going low here as well. But Nas goes and Mashy are able to get the kill here.
But Jinx is just untouched in this fight. No, she didn't lose any health, and just that minion spawn just saved Zelmak there. But yeah, I mean that's the thing with these comps is like, yeah, they're trading relatively kills back, but Jinx is just completely untouched in every single fight, and they might just look to end here.
I think they're definitely going to try and force it with
Yeah.
2 members still dead. It is definitely looking like the Nexus is falling. Nexus is 2 hits down, and GG game number 1 going over to JRGC. We'll have to be right back as we go into game number 2 and try and get production back on track with. Oh, well, it's okay.
GG.
Hello and welcome back. As we go into draft, looks like
Like it was going, but
we're going into draft here in a moment. Game 2. Any takeaways here you think as we head into draft that you want to see off the table from that game 1, or do you think the draft changes at all?
For me, if I was Rat Tactics, I don't know if it's a champ pool thing for solo laners, but they need to at least get like either a favorable matchup, like play something that's just blindable into anything, or they need to get a counter matchup in one lane. Like you can't be first picking mid and then for also picking top, right? Like I think they need to save their mid pick. And that's why I'm wondering if it's like a champ pool thing for mid lane. Because I feel like if I'm on the side of Rat Tactics, I would just pick your like first pick an ADC or something or support, pick or jungle, and then just pick the other two and save mid top or bottom two phase because you just need to get some kind of favorable matchup. Now, if Zelmac or coin flip had something that's like blindable, like say like Renekton, for example, then I think it's fine, right? But like I'm not sure why the side of JRGC is even banning the Gnar because Aurelia, Jax, all these champions are like really good into Gnar, right? Like that's not a matchup you'd want to play as Gnar. You don't want to play into an Aurelia or Jax. Like Renekton's decent, but yeah, I mean, Aurelia being a pretty good counter Gnar, but yeah, I think they just need to get a favorable matchup in one of these lanes so they have somewhere to play through. Like it seemed like it was going to be bot that game, but I don't know if it was just like a level 1 thing that happened or what happened there because we weren't able to see it. But yeah, that's what I would do if I was a side of Rat Tactics. And also, I would say they need to play, especially early, either for the 3v3 or 4v4, because a lot of it is just going to be split pushing from the top laner of JRGC. So if they draft like, one tank that's like pivotable or like really, really important to being in the fight, then it has to be something that has like a crazy go button, like Galio,
Yeah.
or even like a Vi Galio. You just vialed in Galio and go in, you just like instantly pop someone. Not things like I'm not saying Cassandra is bad, but it's more like a slow roll with Cassandra where you're gonna dash in, not pull someone back. And I think they either need really easy to execute hard engage as 5, or they need to draft in a way that one of their soul laners they can play through in the side lane. Because like mid lane, like once the game devolves into like mid to late game where you have like your ADC and support mid and you have your solo laners on the side, you need to have one lane that has pressure because if both lanes are constantly getting pushed in, you're not going to be able to get any vision. You're not going to be able to be first really to any objectives if JRGC play right. And now we are getting back into draft and we see
Yeah.
it starting with Lulu again.
Yeah, and it looks like JRGC's going to respond, keeping Anivia off the table for tonight. Not letting Zelmac get that champion. Soraka also taken off the table from Flaccid.
Yeah, kind of going back to what we were talking about, like I think wasting 2 bands like this on support just really isn't worth it. And they're just gonna stick with the same bands again.
Yeah, I'm really surprised we don't change anything up here on the side of the Rat Tactics or this side of JRGC, but we are going to first pick Amumu, which means JRGC has their pick of the litter of Jinx or Ashe.
I mean, if I'm JRGC, I would just go Ash again and or not Ash, Jinx again. Like just great champion,
Mm-hmm.
pretty good into relatively everything, right? So
Yeah,
I think
may even play Sivir. Has been having a lot of games on Sivir lately. So it looks like
Mhm.
they are going to lock in the Jinx here. We'll see what they pair with it. If they want to take their support right now, or if they're going to go with the jungle response. I wouldn't be surprised to see Diana here.
I don't think they're gonna blind Diana.
Well, that's the thing. They could flex it into jungle if CCAT plays
Oh
it.
yeah, they could, but I didn't know. I don't think I know at least when we were doing something against them, he mainly just plays tanks.
All right.
Like
Well, yeah, he's going to respond with the Zac.
yeah, I think they're just gonna try to hold the solo laners as long as they can. But in this situation, like I think they just need to pick bot here for the side of Rat Tactics. Like And this is why JRDC loves going red side. But
Yeah, I think our tactics is probably gonna pick the Vel'Koz here again, or take
Mordekaiser.
surprisingly they're gonna take Mordekaiser. Um, let's see if they draft that Vel'Koz here early, or if they switch it up, maybe pick a Swain or draft the Ash here. Well, very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I would say the only problem for me with this, because I feel like Mordekaiser is pretty good into what counts with Zach, and it is gonna be the swing. But now you have the problem there's just like triple AP, solo lane and jungle. So it's like that's so much magic damage focus. So
Hmm.
they're gonna need like some really hard hitting ADC. And I feel like if JRDC just picks mid here, they can just go into phase 2 and just ban, you know, I mean, I don't know if they play Kog'Maw. And they are gonna blind their Renekton here.
Well, I mean, you see the Mordekaiser, chances are it's probably going topside.
Oh yeah.
So you know what you can respond with. You have the counter pick and counter with support here for 5, or you can give that mid lane actually, and then support R4, uh, taking away some bans here from the mid lane. I'm
Unless
lost.
maybe it
I
was
was
just
very confused there for a second. As I saw the Vex coming out, I was like, Swain is already selected. I know.
yeah, I would say maybe against a normal team, they would think like, oh, maybe this could be like Swain support or bot, but
Mhm.
just based on Zelmac, like I feel like this is going to be the Swain mid. But I
Yeah,
mean, Swain also like just great champion, but just so many bad matchups. Like so many things just outrange you. Like you play Cinder in it. That's why I'm surprised they didn't pick mid here and just wait for top because I feel like it's. I mean, I guess either way is fine, really. But
yeah. Looks like MF and Ash are coming off the table.
we're gonna
I'm
ban
surprised to
Lux
see
soon.
Diana isn't banned here, but maybe it doesn't do well. Not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that exact matchup. It's probably like okay, but Swain for the most part is pretty good into like assassin short range champs because he's just, he just gets so much help from his passive. He has so much sustain from his passive. And like I would say like Ari is like slightly Ari favored, like but it's relatively even. But if you played something like Syndra, Oriana, I mean, I guess even Lux to a degree could be okay too, or like even Victor's pretty good into Swain. Like anything that can just outrange him, it's basically like as long as you dodge E, you're just going to take 0 damage the entire laning phase, right? Because your trading patterns are so much easier into Swain. He's going to be constantly pushed up. But when you're playing into like a short range matchup like the Diana, you can just walk up and kind of spam with Q poke and Airy and stuff. But we'll have to see. I mean, definitely a Zelmac champ for sure. I don't think we saw this out of him last series, if I remember correctly. And Tom Kench locked in for the side of Rat Tactics along with the Zaya.
Yeah, Zion gives their team a lot of options. Helps them kite back from the fight. So I kind of like that from Rat Tactics. Plus Tom Kench, protect your AD carry, very good.
Yeah, it's just for me right now, like I'm just not seeing what Rat Tactics like it seems to me like it's just like a lot of either playing for matchup or playing for comfort because I don't think a lot of these champs really like function well together, right? Like they don't really do much together. Besides, you could say maybe like Swain and Amumu going in, but even then, it's not really like synergy, right? There's no like hard dive or anything. Or at least like, and I would say for JRDC, it's kind of similar, but just generally all of their champs are going in like they did last series, except for the Jinx. And I guess Tarek, right? But you have Zac jumping in, Renekton diving the back line along with Ari, and then you just have Tarek kind of in the middle between Jinx and those three, just kind of like putting out heals, stuns, popping the ultimate, and then Jinx is just going to be free fire on this back line.
Hmm.
I'll say the other thing which is scary for the side of Rat Tactics is they're all very low range, right? It's not like they have like a Caitlyn or even like Ash, like with 600 range or something, or a Syndra or Oriana, something that has like more range to where like Swain is very low range, so you could get in a situation where it's just like really hard to fight these team fights with nothing that's true hard engage besides the Amumu, like bandage toss. And after that, it's like if it hits, yeah, you can start a fight. But even if the Amumu goes in, hits a bandage toss and an ult, there's not like really much follow up unless you're all like right on top of them. Which if you're JRGC, that shouldn't really ever be happening, right?
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that I think of when I see this and I know how these teams go is that JRGC likes to engage team fights more than what I see from Rat Tactic. Like they like their picks, right? But like when JRGC is engaging team fights, they're pretty deep. Um, and I'm seeing a lot of what could be self heal, protect, and capture, like playing this catch kind of comp where they absorb the engage from JRGC in sort of turn fights.
Mhm.
If that's how Rat Tactics plays it, that could be beneficial because
Oh
that
yeah.
sort of goes against how JRC plays a lot and like really focus on their
hmm
weaknesses.
Yeah, and they can definitely do that, right? Like they can
Hmm.
definitely have a comp where they want you going into them. I mean, for sure. Like you have Swain who loves when people run into him, and you have Mordecai who loves when people run into him. It's just I think on the side of Rat Tactics, it's just I think they're just too low damage in a sense that it's all a lot of it's going to be magic.
Yeah.
So it's like even someone is like Renekton, just being able to buy Merc Treads, getting that 25 MR and tenacity is going to go a long way against their team. Or like Zach with Spirit Visage, like even though they have Mordekaiser for max health damage and stuff, it's just like small things like this are just. I mean, even like I don't know if you'd go on Ari this game, but it's even like not that bad, right? So it's like I feel
Hmm.
like just small things like this, like one magic resist item on this Renekton, like maybe third or something, is gonna make him so hard to kill in these team fights because it's just like a lot of slow burn damage. And then yeah, like if Zaya gets really far ahead or just is able to do a lot of damage in the fights, then okay, then it might not be as bad. But I feel like for this comp, like Zaya needs to be ahead, or it's just gonna be really hard to play.
Well, if I think and I hope that Rat Tactics plays it the way that I see it playing out, in which they absorb fights, they let them come into them, because a lot of their champions in their comp allows for that, like exactly like the Zach kiting, you know, uh,
hmm
it shreds so well, and a lot of JRGC wants to go in, wants to follow up, wants to dive. 3 out of the 5 champions want to go, and then 2 of them are like, okay, I'm gonna follow after, like front to back, with
hmm
Tarek and Jinx. So it's whereas Rat Tactics, I just feel like they could be potentially deathball-y, just absorb a lot. So
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Like, but if they're death balling, but you don't have the
yeah,
damage to kill anyone, then what
right,
does it
right.
matter, right?
It's just a standoff at that point, right?
Yeah.
So like it's basically who pulls the triggers first, and in that case, like who wins in the scaling? What is the question?
Oh, I think JRGC probably wins scaling just through Jinx.
You think over
I
having
think I think
Mordekaiser
if
and Swain?
yeah, I don't yeah, I think just Jinx alone is enough
Hmm.
damage for the most part to like win a team fight. It's kind of like not so much as Kog'Maw, right? But as long as Jinx is just not getting hit, which realistically she shouldn't be getting hit that much unless they like have a really good flank or something, but they don't really have any flanking champions, right? It's just a Mumu. So it's like that's
Yeah.
how I'm looking at it, right? Because it is about scaling in a sense of like effective output as well, right? So it's like, yeah, you could have like a champ. I can't think off the top of my head, but just someone that scales like Kale, right? Kale scales incredibly well. But if you're not able to like hit, if you have like, 30% uptime on your damage, then it doesn't matter if you scale well because you're only doing 30% of your damage, right? Where Jinx in this comp should realistically have almost no pressure on her
Right.
unless you let Mordekaiser like hit you with an E, right? Which really shouldn't happen. Like, or it's really just a bandage toss, right? But
Hmm.
then you have Tarek and just like good peel from Tarek alone, and then they have all this hard engage that's going to be constantly
Well, then the
pressuring
question
the
becomes:
Zaya.
is Tarek actually going to be in the fight? Will Tarek actually be in the fights with Mordekaiser existing as well? Because like Tarek could just be pressing R, and then before R takes
Right?
effect,
Yeah.
Mordekaiser presses R. In which case, his team could wipe the enemy team.
hmm I think when you look at scaling, and then I guess after this we can like take a short break. But I would say when I look at scaling, I look at it from a point of like whose ADC is going to have an easier time to play these fights. And I don't play ADC that much, but if I'm playing ADC, I feel like it'd be much easier to play Jinx in this game than to play Xayah, even though Xayah has her ultimate, because you're going to be having
Mhm.
Zac jumping in, Renekton diving in, Ari dashing in on you, all with the Taric ult on top. Like, or
Yeah.
realistically, it's going to be like an aggressive Taric ult, which I like more, almost like an aggressive like Galio ult, where you're just going
Yeah.
in, they're popping it, and Jinx is just sitting back there and hitting. But yeah, I guess we can cut to a short break and then
We'll bring it
we
back here
we
in
can
a
come
moment.
back. Yeah.
Well, welcome back here. We're going live to Summoner's Rift. Game number 2 is currently 1-0 JRGC. Just give a second there for that. And we are going straight to the Rift. It is 5-point versus 5-point. No cheeky invades, nothing going on there. I'm actually surprised by that. I thought maybe they might look with Mumu or something. Swain, they have a lot of level 1 advantage.
Yeah, and I was gonna say in all the Aurelia games I've seen him play, he always takes PTA, but he must just love this rune or something. I feel like especially into a Mordekaiser, you kind of like I feel like you kind of
Mm.
have to take Conqueror.
You
I
think?
mean, that's just. I mean, I feel like Conqueror is just like default on Renekton, like
Oh,
in general. But these long drawn out fights. But we do see a little walk up here, probably just for a ward.
yeah, Prism Mike getting that ward down there. They might be able to get that off. Selmac getting a ward as well. Spotting out CCAT there, top side. So, you know, some early wards there on both sides, but nothing to take from that.
Yeah. So where do you think? We do see both junglers clearing towards bot side, which to me kind of makes sense. And I feel like Ari should have pressure in this mid lane early on, and then Renekton probably has pressure early. I'm not too sure about Renekton and a Mordekaiser though. I haven't seen or
Um,
played it that much.
I don't know either, to be honest with you, how that goes. That match top side. Um, I don't really like Renekton too much. Fight against him. If a champ person that went top laner like it banned goes up against a lot of my uh, pull very well. But it looks like it is going top side. It's
Ooh.
going top side with a little bit of a scrap back and forth.
Yeah, but I mean these long drawn out trades like as this Mordekaiser should definitely be looking to like draw these fights out as much as you can. Like you have PTA versus Conqueror and you're just Mordekaiser, right? Like but these short burst trades are definitely gonna favor Renekton. We will see. Already popped potion, so definitely gonna be that both champs sustain pretty well, but I'd say Mordekaiser probably a little more. Like just general sustain, but did get um not bone plating, demolish as well.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
Oh, you're good. And yeah, I mean, we just see
can't
both.
hear the audio for figure that out.
From what, the game?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you won't be able to.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about your mic audio. I was like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, no, you won't be able to hear the
Okay.
stream will, but in the call we won't.
Okay. My bad. But yeah, it looks like a little bit of a back and forth
Ooh.
scuffle on the top side.
Not sure what that was.
Maybe
Yeah,
a little bit
Renekton
of
really
lag
needs to get
there.
this wave crashed right now because he's kind of in a really bad spot. Like if Amumu was clearing towards the top, it'd be like pretty
Which
bad right now.
he currently is headed that direction.
Yeah, going for the scuttle top side, and yeah, I mean if Renekton can't crash this wave, it's definitely going to be a little dangerous, and he is just going to decide, I guess, to take the recall here. I feel like maybe he could just wait for this wave to crash and then reset because I feel like he's going to hard push this as Mordekaiser, but definitely
Or he could,
playing it safer.
I don't know, maybe do a slow push here. I don't know what the strategy is there.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely gonna once this wave connected top, it was gonna like super hard push, even if he like didn't touch it, 'cause it's like so much closer. But Renekton is gonna choose to push it in, but now it's just like if he pushes this wave in,
Yeah, a lot of damage going on there from Mordekaiser into Renekton. Mordekaiser was like is half health and has already chunked Nazgos about 30% of his HP. So
yeah, and this is the problem because Mordekaiser still does have the teleport, so
yeah,
does get the pullback here.
flash for flash and traded as CT
don't
or
touch
sorry
the wave,
RT
bro.
coin flip is going in. Prism Mike also getting chunked there by Zelmac. Who didn't you want to touch the wave?
I didn't want coin flip.
Oh,
because
first
then-
blood going over to Nazgos as Nazgos is able to run him down and get the PTA proc. Current score is 1-0 from JRGC. I know currently, sorry, it says 0-0. If we can update that at all, we'll get that to you updated in a moment. Second, Prison Mike is being taken really low here. Is going to be forced to back.
Gonna go for Oblivion Orb first base.
Zelmac is charmed under tower, trying to get the poke damage, and is eliminated and killed.
Yeah, good charm or flash. It wasn't a charm flash; it was a flash charm. But yeah, good flash and charm to make him take that turret shot. But yeah, Oblivion Orb into this Renekton. Yeah, it's gonna hurt the shielding or the healing and stuff coming out of Renekton, but it's really not gonna do much else, and it's really gonna delay this Rylai's first item you usually see out of the Mordekaiser top. So, and you know, getting that pickaxe, exactly what you want as the Renekton. I'm assuming going for Eclipse first item. And yeah.
Looks like Shadow, the Shadow Realm has been brought out, and Nazgos is taken low, but ults himself to keep him.
Yeah, he's gonna look to all in here, but yep. Definitely, maybe not played the matchup too much, but it's we do see Amumu going in here with the bandage toss and just.
Mashi's all in here. Mashi might be in danger. It's going pretty low, but it looks like Zelmac is going to be able to pick up a kill here. Possibly another one. Seacat has to flash. Mistborn is picking up a kill. Prism Mike is getting low. I'm sorry, Mistborn did not pick up that kill yet. It is a Zac, I forgot. But now picks up that kill. Mashi is going in. It has been charmed, but that's all right. Mistborn is following up with a more damage here onto Ziggy and Prism Mike. He's coming. Wings are coming down, but he's going to have to be careful here as Charm might come out. Charm does not come out, but Zelmac and Mistborn are able to get damage down on this team and get Rat Tactics back in this game, spiking the chances for them to even be in this game because the early game did look really rough.
Yeah, and you got to look bot here, like just 20 CS gap, and he's just gonna miss. This wave is pushing out towards Rat Tactics, so basically is gonna miss like all the CS bot lane that would equalize, or I guess now it looks like it's not pushing out too much. Maybe like slow pushing out. Well, no, that's other wave is coming. But gonna
Byzantsky
need to.
is 1v1 on the dragon, is getting
Jeez.
really low here. It
Okay.
is going to leash the Drake for the enemy team there. Very nice of him to do. Unfortunate when you don't
Yeah.
have your team helping you out, you are not able to take the Drake fast.
Yeah, just kind of got beat down by the Taric Infernal Drake duo right there, but yeah, not exactly what you want to see after they just kind of brought the game back to make a mistake like that, but still big lead in this top side for the Renekton, and a lot of their goal lead is there, and do you see an all in from the Renekton here, but not going to pop the ult, not going to try to go in too hard, and a lot of it's going to be on this Xayah, as we were kind of talking about in the draft. Like, Xayah is pretty far ahead at this point, but about 1,000 gold, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see if the Xayah is able to hit in these fights, and if this Renekton can actually push his lead like super hard to start split pushing these turrets down.
Yeah, Renekton is pretty far ahead right now. They're going to be able to take Grubbies because of this, but Magic Sauce is going to look to go in onto Flaccid. Ult's coming down here from Flaccid. They're going to wait out the ulti, try and stall and just reset in the bot lane off that fight, but they were able to pull Taric's ultimate out, which is really good for them in the bot side there. That is a big ult for that to be down right now.
Tahm Kench, what a champ.
And it looks like Coinflip is just really struggling in this lane right now. If Nazgos could, if he knew how to freeze the lane, if he did, Coinflip just would be unable to play.
Probably just going to look to dive here. Byzantsky is here. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Byzantsky
Oh,
misses
no.
his ulti, misses his bandage toss, and Nazgos is able to get a kill and get out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Byzantsky's probably lucky that bandage toss did not hit.
Yeah. Zelmak also getting low here. Prism Mike is
Gonna
getting
have the
taken
Q up.
low.
Yeah.
She have she has electrocute. I was wondering why Zelmak just disappeared.
Yeah, I mean the Q. I think even without electrocute, the Q would have pulled back, would have just killed him. But yeah, not the best matchup for Swain. It's definitely okay, but you just gotta. I mean, it's a pretty common matchup, I guess. At least when Swain was first picked up, and we do or reworked. We do see Mash or Mistborn going in here.
And Mashisaw says, nope, that's not where you need to be. And Mistborn
Oh.
decides that I need to be there anyways. I'm not going to listen. And goes right back into the fight. But Mashisaw is going in, and CCat is here. This is not a great time to be engaging when your AD carry is at 10% HP.
Yeah, and walking back up just to burn the Xyld, I don't think is definitely worth it at that point, and it kind of puts Tahm Kench in a weird situation. But yeah, going in there, definitely think the wrong choice. And they are going to get a plate and a kill over to this Jinx, and I mean, it's just like this CS gap, right? I mean, 92 to 49.
It doesn't really matter when you're up 8-3 right now, though.
Oh yeah,
Like-
I'm saying like for the ADC specifically, I wouldn't be surprised if the biggest gap is this bot lane in the game. Which
Yes.
I mean, yeah, well, I guess actually not that much. It's only 800. Top lane is definitely bigger. Kind of surprised by that, actually.
Well, he is up 3 kills.
Yeah,
A lot
I
of
guess that
farm.
is true. Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, matchup's gonna be tough. Has the completed eclipse, and this is like the thing is like it's like completed eclipse into
Morello,
Ninja
half a
Tabby.
Morello.
Yeah, Ninja Tabby and Oblivion Orb. Like that's not gonna do anything for you right now. And yeah, we see he got his Renekton, and I don't even think he's gonna win this. I mean, I feel like if Nos just pops ult here, breaks the shield and just you just can't fight this Renekton at this point.
He got close early, as Ziggy is going to have to flash here. Ulti is back from Flaccid. Surprised it didn't come here to save him again, but didn't happen at all. Flaccid is going low as well now. chance here for a dive potentially. Dive
they're
is
gonna
coming
try.
out. Mistborn is going to be able to get the kill onto Flaccid before the ult even takes place. Zelmak is going in, but Pazanski is here
Mm.
and walked up into a Zac to give Zac the ability to use his Q.
Oh,
Ult coming
very
out there
just-
from Pazanski, but it's not going to be enough. This
Yeah.
bot lane is doing phenomenal work here, trying to keep their team in this fight. But Ziggy is going to walk in and give over another kill to Mistborn, bringing them
very
4-0.
very greedy on the side of Z just to walk up there. Maybe just could have waited for Tarek a little bit, but yeah, as you said, bot lane going phenomenal for the side of Rat Tactics, but just these solo lanes. I mean, this is even a bigger lead than the previous game, right? I mean, Renekton, one of his best champs, and I don't remember how much Ari had. I thought there was a decent bit of Ari in his match history, but I think we banned it most games.
I feel like
second
Ari's
phase,
just
but
playable no matter what.
yeah, Ari's pretty. Yeah, Ari's pretty playable no matter what. I'd say a lot of them are like I think on what's it called? On like websites for like stats and stuff that it says like Ari's like good into Oriana, but it's a lot of if you can dodge like charm, then it's pretty good for Oriana actually because you have like just better trading patterns and you have higher
Mhm.
range into Ari. But yeah, Ari pretty. I mean, just safe. Like you can't really go wrong with Ari. She doesn't really have any that bad mention. I'll say probably her worst one maybe is like Silas or one of the ones that can really go wrong. But
Yeah.
Swain definitely
Oh.
not one of them.
Mashi here looking along with Pazanski potentially for a fight here bot side. But Coinflip is going to take Nazgos under the tower, get him relatively low. But tower's gone and I'm not going to be able to see that fight now. But it looks like Nazgos does back off. He's going to keep pushing in the wave, but he doesn't keep pushing the fight.
Yeah, and I'm surprised these fights top are even as close as they are. Like, it's literally Oblivion Orb to Eclipse at this point. They both have tier 2 boots, and it's actually pickaxe to amp totem. Or he might have just bought the pickaxe and stuff when he went back. but-
Another kill going over to Mistborn, who is now 5-0. Is probably going to get eaten here by Tahm Kench. Not actually, doesn't need to be eaten. Nazgos is here bot side. Ulti might coming
Big
out here from
pullback.
Mistborn. Buy himself some time, and the ulti does come out, but the kill is going to go over to Ari. I'm surprised that Tahm Kench doesn't eat anyone there to stall for time.
Yeah, and we just see these solo lanes just really just causing a problem in these games. I mean, 5-0-4 on the Ari, 4-0-2 on the side of Noskos, and yeah, I mean they're just kind of getting work done on these solo lanes. And Jungle's still 2-1-6 doing a great job being at these fights. They decide to go for the Leandries first instead of going a little damage then into tank on the Zac. Perfectly fine. And yeah, I mean we see a 6K gold lead already at 16 minutes into the game. Yeah, and we see three almost exact difference top and mid on both sides. That's actually kind of crazy. Like 4,400 gold for both solo lanes for Rat Tactics and 70, or now it's 7,800 for mid. But basically, 3.5K gold almost for both solo lanes at this point.
Well, Zema caught out here, but Nazgos is now looking at a 2v1 situation, but he's just running Pazanski down and is just dealing tons of damage here. He might even get a double kill onto the Zelmak as well.
Yeah, he should have E coming up here shortly. And
Looks like Swain is able to eat him.
I'm surprised he
save
didn't
him
go
by
in
time.
there, but he had his team following up on him, but better to play it safe, I guess. Nothing wrong with that. And I mean, he should be even close to his cleaver at this point. Like,
Yeah,
already just splitting in the bot side, so. Yeah, Eclipse, I mean, that's like, like Melee Bruiser's dream right now, just getting Eclipse and being ahead. It's so hard to trade with champs that have that over you and have an advantage because you just go in, proc it, you get like a decently sized shield, and Makes it really hard to trade. Prison Mike is getting a little does pop the ultimate here. But I mean, honestly, Ari could probably just 1v1 him at this point, has like just down in XP, gold, everything. And
Yeah, she's up 2 items. He has none, so it's just impossible for CoinFlip really to play this game right now. And no matter who he tries to match, he just really can't. So it's a really tough situation for Rat Tactics to be in. The bot lane is doing their best to keep them in this game, but solo laners, like you said, they're just so far behind.
mhm.
Even jungler is behind here. I don't know what you have to do to get your team into this game. I mean, bot is doing damnedest, and it's just like the solo is just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think going into game 3, they just need to drop the support bans. They need to pick a solo laner, ban them out. Like, if you ban Renekton Aurelia Jax, he's gonna play Tryndamere. Pick something into Tryndamere that you're comfortable with, and then at least you have one lane you can play through.
Yeah.
That
Or,
would be
you
my.
know, like three ban their mid laner and get them onto something else, but they also have like a deep pool too, so
Their mid has, I would say, a deeper pool in terms of like carries, right? Because you look
Yeah.
at top lane and it's like, well, there's only so many carries one top lane. Like, I don't think he played much like Camille and stuff. Oh, we do see CoinFlip flashing in, going on to Flaccid, it looks like in the ultimate, but Flaccid's just gonna pop his ultimate and kind of just sit there and say, now what? And now we just see a massive team fight coming in. Zach going in, just basically unkillable and doing decent damage as well. And yeah, Ari just going in, and all of the side of JRGC just going in. A little over eager flash there, but Charm connects, and yeah, they're just gonna clean this fight up.
yeah.
Oh, little oopsie there for the side of Nos, but yeah, I mean, I guess back to draft, it's just like for top specifically, it's like, from what I've seen, just top in general, usually they play like, a handful of carries and then a couple tanks, right? So it's like if you play his main 4 carries top are those 4, and then you play, after that he plays like Ornn, I think Scion, stuff like this, like some tanks up there. So at least if you ban those 3, it's like 99% chance he's gonna pick Tryndamere or a tank. And then if you can kind of like get a matchup that way, because bot seems to be doing fine, like relatively, like even the last game, I don't think bot really blew open. Like they were ahead last game too, right? They got the 2-0 start for Ash, but it was kind of just almost like falling apart around them, right? And I think they need to
Yeah.
get one of these solo laners at least like a matchup they're comfortable in, that they can just be relevant in these fights later, or just relevant in the side lane. Now I would say like the Swain Ari matchup isn't like too one-sided. That's more like a skill matchup. So maybe they need to look to top lane instead. But I think they maybe just on the side of Rat Tactics, as we were talking about, their champ pool just isn't like very big. They just play a lot of comfort stuff for the most part, and I think that's what's gonna come back to bite them in this series.
Well, it's going to be a tough series for Rat Tactics. They didn't swap sides. They aren't swapping bans. It's what is
Yeah, or
your
even maybe swapping
strategy.
sides could be good against JRGC because Charm connects, but does pop the ultimate. Mistborn is coming in here. Oh,
Zelmak has to
little-
flash there to stay alive.
I
Prison
don't
Mike
even
is
know if
able to
Mistborn can.
ulti-
Oh, Charm goes wide, but he's gonna try to 1v1 him. But Pazanski getting jumped on in his own jungle.
He's
having
going to
to
have
bring
to
the
burn
ult.
Curse of the Sad Mummy.
Then it's like Mistborn was having is having a solid game, but it's like you're trying to 1v1 this Ari. But I mean, this Ari is really fed too, right? Like, so it's not like it's gonna be a disparity there. So yeah, they're just pushing down this mid inner turret here, and probably just gonna take the inhib and potentially even look to end.
Yeah, which would be a really fast end here for JRGC. Only 19-6, and they are pushing hard to send this game to a quick 3-0. You're that far ahead though. You just got to end it. I think they are.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna
21
walk
to
through
6.
here and end, and Mordekaiser just Yeah, just no one on the side of Rat Tactics really has anything to do at this point besides just watch their Nexus explode. It seems like Charm connects and yeah, 10-0-7 on the Ari. Had a great game. I think part of it, at least in our series when we played against JRGC, was just kind of like putting them out of their comfort zone. You give them counter pick solo because they're ADC. They're just gonna first pick and pick a fine lane, but you got to get these solar laners like out of their comfort zone. Like just throw something at them, see if it works. But that's gonna take some form of like champion pool to be able to do that, right? Play something that isn't seen that much, or that might hit them with the Ornn mid, right? What are they gonna
Mm,
do?
I I really don't know. It, we're gonna have to find out when we come right back. What Rat Tactics' plan is. They're gonna have to come up with something because it's going to game 3 2-0. All right, we'll be right back. Don't spec. Not spec.
Okay. Looks like we're back in getting into draft for game 3.
I'm
Yep.
not able to see draft right now, but you keep me posted and let me know what's going on. I'll
Okay.
try and get into
Yeah,
this
so
as soon as possible.
they're going to start with the Anivia ban from JRGC. We do see JRGC going, well, I'm assuming Rat Tactics choosing red side since they lost. So we do see a side swap. And it's looking like the same bans again, going with the Lulu for Rat Tactics and Anivia Wukong for JRGC. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're gonna do the Soraka ban as well. So they're keeping it the same. They just really don't want to see these supports, I guess. But I feel like maybe they need to switch something up and maybe a takeaway or just something here, and we will see Renata. So just exact same. I mean, for JRGC, real like no reason to switch it up. It's working, right? Like I
Yeah,
feel like they don't need to switch anything up.
I don't know. I hate to see Rat Tactics run it back with the same 3 bands.
Yeah, they are
I
gonna
mean,
look to ban a Mumu here. I forgot what their third ban was every game. It was the
Galio,
Galio. It was the
and
Galio.
I think you just gotta let it
Yeah.
through.
I mean, they're just gonna first pick the Jinx,
Yeah,
and this is what JRGC does. They pick relative aggressive comps that team fight well, that can go forward, and then they pick Jinx, like or Sivir, and they both function similarly, right? It's not rocket science at this point, but yeah, we will see the Lulu, Soraka, and Mumu off the table, and we got to see something out of Rat Tactics here. It can't just be. We're just gonna run it back with the Zaya, I guess. I mean, even maybe like your winning bot, just pick like Kate Lux or something, and just try to like break the game open, or like we just need to see something.
No, we're gonna go probably Zaya, Tom Kench again, or Zaya, Braum.
Yeah, maybe Zaya over Khan.
Nope, Zaya, Tom Kench. Okay.
Oh.
Well, here's why I'm not depressed by that, because that lane was winning. That's the lane that's winning right now.
See, the reason I'm so depressed by it is the lane doesn't do anything. Like Kate and Lux, you can swap it around and just perma pressure every single turn in the game. Like Zaya TK is like a safe scaling lane to a degree, but it's like the game just aren't even getting to the point where that's gonna matter, and they're just gonna run it back with the Tark again. Like I said, I feel like JRGC just run it back same comp if they let you. Like
I think it's been Taric
fine.
4 games in a row.
Yeah, well 3 games, but
it was.
well it's all this is
Oh
only
yeah,
the third game.
sorry. Yeah, 3 games in a row. So they're just gonna sprint back the same comp. It worked really well.
Yeah, no reason to change. It's working.
I really hate that. Hate everything about it.
Well, you think JRGC should do something different?
No, I don't. But
you just saying like you hate it because you don't want to see. That's like good, and you don't want to see.
Well,
that.
yeah, I just think you have to attack the draft somehow. You can't just let them consistently get these easy to execute comps. Like,
I
don't know.
Yeah, and the thing is too is if they had to play Jinx with not as much frontline or just with frontline, and they're just gonna blind mid here again. I guess they're just worried that if they go phase 2, they're just gonna ban Vel'Koz Swain, and then I guess what does he do after that? But yeah, I'm not really sure. So I'm hoping we see some top bans here. Maybe the Renekton Aurelia.
I wouldn't be surprised if they ban Galio in phase 2. Renekton.
Yeah, man, they just really don't want to see this Galio. I feel like, they are going for the Renekton. I mean, even like Galio support here, I could see being decently well. I feel like it has to be good into Taric, like
it is. The problem is no one,
or at least
plays
not
it.
I guess that's
no one on Rat Tactics plays it. Like I play it, but
I mean, Galio is not that hard. I've first time Galio.
Yeah.
And he's not super complicated, but I just don't think it's worth the ban at this point. I think they need to attack one lane instead of. I mean, their mid just has too many options, but they are going to go for the Galio, I guess, and just leave the Aurelia open. I'm
really surprised about this. Like, I'd rather deal with the Galio than deal with Aurelia.
Yeah,
because the way that you play is Rat Tactics is
and why are
team
they
fighting.
And I guess they're just looking at it as maybe like they're gonna pick jungle here. They're not gonna pick top here. So I mean they shouldn't.
I
So I guess
mean,
they're just looking
is it
at it
time for
as
Echo? Okay, so
yeah.
we're getting Pizanski's Echo. Um, there's that. So here's a chance for
Mm,
Pizanski to finally be on carry and pop off on one of his mains.
yeah, so we're just gonna like I was thinking, we're gonna get the counter pick top. So maybe they think if he plays Aurelia, we're gonna play something into it. But they're gonna go for Trundle here, top lane.
Tryndamere.
Oh, we're just gonna go Tryndamere. Fairly decent blind. I mean, I wonder what they're gonna answer to this because this is at
Tom
least an
Kench does really well into.
oh maybe the Tom Kench top. Hey, that could be something to switch it up. Like put something crazy in the draft. That could be cool. I
And
wouldn't have seen that
then,
coming. And just Diana again. Yeah,
you could go, you could bring out, okay, what?
and he's gonna play Riven.
He's going to hover ribbon. I mean, it might be, I think it's going to be a Garen game, to be honest with you. But if it's game 3 and you think you're going to bed after this and you just want to play Riven to play Riven, I mean, you're playing Riven, right? Like,
I mean, maybe just go for the Malphite here. I feel like Malphite could be pretty decent. Like, I feel like it would be decent in a Tryndamere and just attack this Jinx maybe and have someone to dive. But it will be the Garen, as you said, and
I gotta
almost
write
like
these
what
drafts.
they play. But yeah, yeah, so it will be the Garen lock in, and at least they have some kind of dive alongside this Echo because that's the main thing I was worried about. Like, if they have to pick something to go in with this Echo, right? Like, is you look at like Rat Tactics in a sense, or it's like, or not Rat Tactics, my bad, JRGC, where it's like whenever they draft engage, like dive, it's not just one. We see like in all the drafts they've played. In this game, like, yeah, Tryndamere can like dive, but he's probably just gonna be split pushing. But we're gonna have like um, Diana, Zach going in, and Targ even to a lesser degree with the ult on top. But yeah, they just need someone to go in with this Echo, and they will have the Garen for that. But I feel like Garen is okay, maybe matchup wise. I'm not really sure how it works. I feel like it would almost be better for Tryndamere, kind of, because he just way out sustains you just from his passive, and then his ult kind of counters your ult in a way, I guess. So, see, I'm not really familiar with that matchup, so I don't know if you know anything about that matchup or not.
Which matchup? Sorry, I just got caught off
Uh,
guard by reading a bunch of chat.
the top side matchup.
Oh, I think pre 6 it's Garen favored,
Mm,
and then I think post 6 it's potentially Garen favored if he plays it smart.
mm.
You could silence him right before he can ulti, and then you can just ulti. So like it has the potential to be Garen favored. Then again, it's Tryndamere, so I don't know. All right, well,
Yeah,
we'll
we can
send
run
it
intermission.
BRB. We'll be right back. Going straight to intermission here. We'll get into game number 3 and hopefully, 5 minutes. So we'll be right back. Well, welcome back to game number 3. This one is basically game point here for JRGC. We're coming out on the Summoner's Rift versus Rat Tactics, man. Rat Tactics, this is your lifeblood is this game. You have to take it to game 4 and for the potential sweep. A
Yeah,
lot on
and
the line for this game.
yeah, and I feel like JRGC kind of got what they wanted. Just they got the Tryndamere blind instead. I didn't know if they were gonna maybe look for one of the other ones, but Tryndamere like decently fine blind, especially into what coin flip plays. And we do see the Garen coming out. And I think that's going to be a lot of where this maybe new type of game is, because that's really the only thing that's different. Besides
and the
in the
Echo.
jungle, oh, yeah, I was gonna say besides for the jungle matchup Echo, I'm not sure exactly matchup wise how that is, or even how good Echo's clear is. I'm assuming his single target clear is pretty good with his passive on W, but
He also has his Q, which is multi-target and like double backs.
oh yeah,
and
yeah. But I wouldn't say
his
he's like a great
W gives him a
AoE
heal, or not a heal, shield.
farmer.
But
Yeah.
it's one of Pazanski's top champions in his pool. So we'll have to see how that plays out here, having something that Pazanski carry with. I think that's the thing that Rat Tactics has been really struggling with, is not having carry potential out of the people that normally carry for them. Having Pazanski having to play a Moo first few games, or like tanks, just doesn't feel great when you're normally on Wukong and Echo,
Yeah, for sure. And I like how they did change that up a little bit. Just at least they need some kind of champ to like bridge this mid game for Mistborn and Mashy to actually like carry games, right? Because like they're getting sizable leads in the early game, but just not much happening. As we see it all in here from Tryndamere.
Coinfloat needs to be careful here because he could get easily dived under tower, killed by Tryndamere at level 1. Coinflip doesn't actually win this until he hits level 3, and that's when it starts being a little bit more favored, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say did go for Q start on Garen as well. And the phase rush. So definitely not gonna be able
Yeah.
to fight this Tryndamere early. Maybe if he had Conqueror and
Maybe.
start, maybe he could trade earlier on, but nothing wrong with phase rush. Gonna hit level 3 and yeah, just have the passive heal you back up. But Tryndamere also sustains like a pretty crazy amount.
Yeah. Well, now level 3 is going to be able to have that shield, be able to proc here. What I do really want to see here from Rat Tactics side is, mid lane and top lane playing a little bit more safe and try and just let their bot lane get fed and get ahead, because that's where they've been succeeding. Mistborn and Mashy have been doing really well to get leads in this bot lane, get CS leads as well. So that's just what I want to see from them, is maybe try and get those leads there rather than try and force stuff mid and top.
Yeah, for sure. Then I would say we just need either more stability going into the mid game and late game, or we need one of the solo lanes or jungler to like step up and start being strong in these games. But yeah, I mean, everything pretty even so far. Nothing nothing crazy happening. Just relative farm going to both teams, and yeah, it's looking like a little bit of a slower game. No first bloods yet. Echo with a decent stun here.
Yeah, going on to Prism Mike here, potentially looking for an all-in.
I want to know E cooldown there because man, I feel like he could have maybe at least burned flash. Like Zach was not going to kill him there, but yeah, decides to back off, plays it safe, burns his own flash though. So
I
that
don't know if that's as big of a deal as Go, because you do have,
oh yeah, I mean it's still a cooldown.
Yeah.
And I guess Zelmak also burning flash there in that mid skirmish.
Coinflip here starting to pull ahead in these fights, looking a little bit more favorable now that he has the ability to trade QE combo. So hopefully that lane continues to go that way and he doesn't start giving kills. going to start pulling ahead in that lane.
Mhm.
And as long as he can continue to play safe, it should be favored for him.
We do see an all-in bot lane.
First
It's gonna-
blood going over to Xayah.
Ooh.
Sauce is going to get stunned under turret. But nothing coming out of that. First blood is going to go over to Mistborn, which is huge for the side
Ooh.
of Rat Tactics, pulling ahead there, getting the leads where they want to get them in the bot lane, which has been doing solid work for them throughout the series.
Yeah, for sure. I think they just need to play a slower game. Like a lot of these. I mean, the whole series, it seems like the bot lane for the side of Rat Tactics has really been their strong point. Like they've been ahead every game, and their jungler seems to play well around it. But yeah, and right now, like solo lanes are still even. We just clearing waves and getting kills in the bot lane, right? So it's going great for the side of Rat Tactics this game.
I really think that, this is the game where you can capitalize on JRGC's mistakes. That I think they're gonna play a little over eager, try and get that 3-0. If you're smart about it, you can, find ways to get ahead in this game. Potentially send this to game 4.
Yeah. Gonna push Prison Mike out here, really playing it safe, backing it out there. Probably won't be able to get a plate here mid, but maybe, yeah, just doesn't have enough mana to clear this wave. So maybe have Echo help push this wave in.
We do have Prio here in mid lane to start Drake, but it looks like they're going to trade maybe Drake for Grubs here. Bot side is going back and forth here. We'll head back over to the Drake as they start DPSing that down and trade objectives 1 for 1.
Yeah, Grub's going to the side of JRGC and first Drake going to the side of Rat Tactics, but I feel like especially for this Tryndamere and even Diana to a slightly lesser degree, getting these, if they're able to get 6 Grubs, they are really going to start having pressure on these turrets in the side lane, which is going to be scary for the side of Rat Tactics. They do secure the first Drake, Infernal Drake, and definitely still a great Drake to pick up.
Yeah. So, game's sort of little. I mean, it's a little bit stale. There's only a small lead here in the bot side, but I think you're right in that Rat Tactics needs to look and try and get second Grubs over to their side so that JRGC doesn't have that pushing power with Ziggy on Jinx. We'll see if they'll be able to pick those up here in the next few minutes when they spawn. But it looks like we're having pings coming out as Pazanski is getting pinged on the Raptors. And CCAT is trying to engage on that and stop him from stealing his farm. Meanwhile, we pan up to top side for a little bit of a fight as Tryndamere and Garen go back and forth.
Yeah, and after we do see a continued fight here, and I feel like this is gonna.
And
did not
Coinflip
get
gets the
off.
ulti in before Tryndamere is able to get his ult off. That burst amount of damage is very surprising, so it can be difficult to judge when Garen is about to ulti you, and when it comes down, that's big.
And that's really bad for the side of JRGC. He was basically kind of getting a push into him with like 2, maybe 2.5 waves. He's gonna miss pretty much all of that. And you see an all in here mid
getting
lane.
caught out here is being bounced back. He's gonna have to flash away here. Disintegration rate is coming out, but it's not going to catch Prison Mike. Pazanski is going to help Zelmak shove this wave out and reset here. With TP coming back up, he shouldn't have to TP, but he is able to get back to the lane here. So another resource there available to them if they need it. Rocket coming down barely misses Zelmak in the base. Wouldn't have killed him, but nice shot there from Ziggy trying to get the execute onto the low health mid laner.
Yeah, and honestly, like Jinx ultimate cooldown is honestly ridiculous. Like this thing's already like 40% back off cooldown. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is actually kind of crazy. But yeah, we just see still a sizable CS lead in the top side, but did get the solo kill to the side of coin flip, and that could really swing how this game is going to look like. Getting this solo kill on the Garen, giving him tier 2 boost, so he's going to be really fast, especially with phase rush and just great wave clear as well on the side
Absolutely.
of Garen. Going to be very hard to push into Garen if a lot of it's going to be 1v1 in the side lane because he just perma clears waves with E. But
Looks like
Yeah.
Mashy Sauce is up here top side for the grubbies as they are going to be spawned here soon. Mistborn Thou is going to be caught out. I Prison Mike, but isn't going to die. They are going to be able to shove out 4 mid prio, potentially be able to rotate top side for this Krub's objective.
do you see Echo sitting over here on the control board? And
And they are going to catch out Tarek here. Flash for You is taken pretty low. Ulti is going to come out.
Zach's looking to go in here. Like Echo,
not-
yeah. And just fight breaking out in the middle lane. Garen's here. He's just spinning on the side of JOGC, just fighting Nosgos, and feel like he's gonna have to run out of here. He might be dead, but
He
yeah,
has to
gets
flash.
out. They might get the passive out of Zach, but very close fight from both sides, and yeah, very very close fight overall. But still, I would say winning on the side of RT. Just health bar's a little more healthy on their side, and Garen just gonna TP back. Like that's the one thing on this Tryndamere from Nas. He always takes Flash Ghost every time I've seen him play it. So not having that ability to get back on the map quickly, and they're just gonna get 3 grubs. So definitely gonna at least equalize that as we see Zach going in on the top side.
Yeah, well, they are on
Oh.
Grubbies here right now. They might have to concede here as Pazanski is looking really low. Pazanski is going to be killed here as the enemy team just was able to engage off of Prio.
Yeah, maybe oversaid there a little too much. They do end up getting 5 grubs, but
The
Zaya
Prison
coming
Mike
in
is going to
here.
die.
Man, Zai just coming in, just completely destroying the Diana, and does have flash up. I'm curious if he's gonna flash on. Oh, well,
Disintegration
Okay.
rate coming down from Zelmak, trying to catch out the last bit of health from Flaccid for You, but it's not going to eliminate him. But what one grub is not the number that you want. But
yeah, for sure, it's definitely better than 0. But yeah, just getting 5 grubs to the side of JRGC for this side lane later on is definitely going to be good, at least on this Tryndamere. But looks like Wazanski's looking for Jinx here. No flash on the Jinx or barrier, so
yeah,
it's going to be
lots
really
of damage
hard
coming
to
down here. But
survive.
ulti coming out from Pazanski could be looking E-dash here and is going to pick up the auto and get the kill onto Ziggy. Pazanski now on the board 1-1-1.
Yeah, great kill from the side of Pazanski, and we just see this match up top. It's just not getting any better anytime soon. I feel like Tryndamere is probably going to have to get at least 2 items before he's able to reasonably contest this Garen being this far ahead. And Garen's got to be sitting on gold close enough to completing the
Strybreaker?
Strybreaker, yeah. I don't know why that item always I always think Tiamat, and then it still isn't like in
It
my head that
Does have a
Tiamat.
Tiamat in it, so I
Yeah.
see that.
It doesn't click to me, so I'm so used to just Tiamat only being 2 items that I was still
I also
forgetting
mix it
built
up with
into
the
Strybreaker.
TFT item, Shieldbreaker
Yeah.
or whatever it's called. It confuses me because the icons look exactly the same.
Mm.
But score
That is
going
funny.
4-1 in the lead of Rat Tactics here, who are on the board and pushing this game. in their favor. So you
A
know,
little. Maybe we need to hold these ults a little sparingly, but yeah, not much is going to happen. They might end up getting this first turret bot here, though, because with Zelmak recalling, is going to TP, but we're going to save that. But Zach's sitting in this alcove bot lane here, just kind of waiting to see if Zelmak walks up, as we see just waves basically being traded topside.
yeah, and looks like Rat Tactics is just going to push out mid and, potentially maybe look here topside. Maybe we can get a Rift Herald onto the side of Rat Tactics. Potentially get another turret with that. We'll get their first turret with that. That's what I would like to see from them. Maybe even utilize that to get Drake. Which,
Yeah, and oh, sorry.
no,
go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say there's a bug here. It's not showing what kind of Drake it is.
Yeah, I was gonna say it always did that for all the games I've seen, at least. Like it just doesn't. It even I guess it's the first time I've seen the timer, but yeah, even with the timer, it just doesn't show the Drake at least, as far as I can tell. But we can probably tell once we see more on the map. But just sitting in this top lane right now and gonna pop the ult, trade ults there. But that's good for the side of Quim. I mean, he's still full health sitting in this top lane, and
Mm-hmm.
with no TP on the side of Nas, he's going to get some decent pressure on this turret top side because Garen's just going to instant
Absolutely.
this wave. Decides to stay. I feel like if you're like Garen here, you might even just look to like Zach going in on the Mistborn, but
Mistborn is caught out, is going to have to ulti away. Ulti coming down there from Taric as well. Mashi is going to be caught out. Cat and Flaccid are caught in the damage of the disintegration ray, but Ziggy is going to rocket from downtown while Zelmak kills the enemy support, trading a support for support here, but putting Zelmak on the board.
yeah,
And
and we're
that's where we need those ultis from Vel'Koz.
Oh,
Seacat caught out here, and so is Mistborn.
not
Multiple.
able.
Oh my God!
Oh, that Q angle was very
Pazanski
close.
insanely picking up that EQ combo onto Ziggy, almost killing Prism Mike as well. It's going to be very interesting to see how Pazanski starts hopefully popping off here onto this Echo.
Yeah, great start from the pocket pick Echo, and we're seeing these fights play out as they did last game. And I don't even know if it's so much like champ dependent, but just not being down like 2-3K at this point, even being slightly ahead, just makes these fights so much easier, and it gives Rat Tactics a chance to show off that good team fighting and mechanics that they have. And we just see Coinflip just spinning on Nos here. Not really much is going to happen here, but just going to. Oh,
Ulti coming out there. Nazgos was able to ult through it. Didn't take any damage. Ult for ult again. And see that's just the prediction combo that you have to have as Trinity. You need to be able to predict when your ulti's coming down. This game is starting to really.
Was that a visual bug? Because I feel like, or it just did no damage. Because like I feel like if you got ulted and it would kill you, it would bring you to 1 health. Oh, he healed like instantly as a pop.
So he pressed Q there, I think, at the same time, trading his rage bar for health.
Because I was looking at it and I was like, I saw he popped ult, but then I was like, man, it looked like that just like weird timing. But we do see Flaccid caught out here
in a 4v1 situation. Flaccid not in the right place is going to get run down. So is Nazgos here, who is not in a great place. It does have Ghost going on for him.
Xayah might just look to cut him off here.
He should be able to blast himself away, but red side Rat Tactics should be able to use this to push mid tower and potentially get vision here on bot side. Look to pick up third Drake for themselves.
Yeah, and just being caught up by, and even like Mashi here a little caught out, but playing the Tahm Kench really tanky, like double.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still has the gray health, so.
Seacat taken relatively low here is going to maybe, I was going to say possibly fall to disintegration rate. But it is Zach and he is pretty healthy, so.
Trinity ult not up yet. Very close. Oh.
Very nice try there by Rat Tactics coin flip. Blue team is able to steal the Baron with a snipe from the rocket, which,
The Drake, the Chemtech Drake,
what did I say?
I think you said Baron because
Oh,
as
yeah.
it popped up,
Sorry,
it was
sorry.
like Baron spawn. So I was just like, yes, it is the
yes.
Drake. But yeah,
Was able to steal Drake there. It's only their first Drake, so,
but even though it's their first, it's like this game would be a lot different being on Soul Point at 20 minutes already.
absolutely.
So great steal from Jinx there. Just maybe a little mismanaging, not being able to block it, or just not being able to push Jinx out. Maybe just thinking, oh, it's free, it's going to be fine. But yeah, we do see Diana going here on the Vel'Koz though.
Zelmak is caught out here, pushed up a little bit too far away from his tower. Prison Mike is just going to be able to run.
Yeah, I wonder if he was sitting in a bush there. By the time it panned down, he was already on top of him. I couldn't really tell, but maybe just out of vision or just maybe a little too aggressive. But Garen going in here again, just spinning on top of this Tryndamere, and Tryndamere really having nothing to do with that. But now he's starting to sustain a lot, and it's really a matter of trying to maybe out-sustain Garen. But, I mean, as the game goes on, Garen's passive just gets better, and it's just basically going to be nothing at the end of the day, so...
Yeah.
We do see Zach channeling the jump over the wall here, looking onto Xayah.
Won't be so.
Tarkout coming out, but did not get onto the Zach. And I don't think Zach has passive still, but does manage to escape as Mistborn and Mashi dropping low. Rocket barely doesn't kill, and reset for Jinx now. And I think that's going to be the end of this, but 2 kills going over the side of Jinx. Not what you want to see for the side of Rat Tactics, and just perma fighting top lane. So
every time it's just like, let's pan back to top to watch them smack each other for a bit. And, Coin Flip has to be careful here.
Gonna pop the ult, and no flashes, but yeah, gets the shutdown on Garen. A little over eager there, and we see like now that Noskos does have some items, he's able to bring this Garen in that spin at least relatively low, as we see an all-in from Prison Mike.
By Prison Mike. And the shift has been made.
Yeah, just
with that few fights there.
Yeah, and we're seeing individual fights where it's not full-on 5v5s that RT want to take. It's just these little skirmishes here and there, someone being overstepping for a wave or trying to get this fight 1v1 top, and it's just now that Noskos actually has items, while Garen's spinning, he's just like trading a lot more health. So by the time when the ults get traded, essentially, because he's just gonna Tryndamere's just gonna ult when Garen ults, with Nos being able to kill him in that window now that Garen's down to like 30% health, rather than earlier on we were seeing when they were still on components, Garen would still be at like 90% health.
And now Tryndamere's on 2 items, which is something that Garen has fallen a little bit behind here.
Yeah, and getting the first turret top lane.
Absolutely. Well, did he get first turret top lane, or did Rat Tactics get first turret mid?
Oh yeah, Rat Tactics might have gotten first turret mid. I didn't even realize mid was down.
Mashi saw us getting run down here, but Nazgos is trying to go onto Zelmak in the bot lane. Looks like blue side is trying to push in here to Baron and potentially maybe look for that objective. Well, they're just trying to get vision and clear vision, and looks like they're going to reset and potentially look maybe this Drake here in 53 seconds.
Yeah, and now that the Drake was stolen, it really makes these fights a lot more awkward, because they could say, okay, we'll give you Baron at worst, even now that they're down in gold and JRG has come back, the fact that they had that Drake stolen, at least if they were up 3 Drakes, they could kind of choose like, okay, well, if you guys start Drake, maybe we can try to sneak Baron if we do it fast enough. Or they can just say, hey, you can have the Baron, we'll take the Chemtech Soul and just play from there. But now it's gonna be really hard. But they do catch Nas Ghost out on this Echo Stun, and he's gonna hit the plant, but Garen,
it's a blast cone, big blast cone too. So
yeah. Oh, the E connects with the flash, and that might be it. If he has another E coming up soon, Garen running at him. Ghost runs out, but they're starting this Baron And they're going to have to push him off of this. They're chasing this Tryndamere. He is buying a lot of time, and I feel like this is going to be Baron over to the side of JRGC.
Mazigos coming in here. Zelmak could potentially steal this.
Oh, he
Uh,
barely survived.
Prism Mike is able to pick up the kill onto Magigos, and JRGC is going to be able to start shoving in with this Baron buff, and just looks like
Yeah.
sloppy
is
playmanship
starting
and
to
macro
drag
out
it.
of the side of Rat Tactics is going to force the lead that they have to slowly slip away.
Yeah, or Zach barely living to be able to get the smite off. Just, man, if he had a little more damage, maybe he could have stole with the ult. But yeah, now it's going to be 2 Drakes with 2 Drakes and Baron to the side of JRGC with about a 5k gold lead. Now it just, I don't know I don't know if Rack Tactics have, and a great flank. But Byzanski pops the ult, but he's just in the middle of 4 people. And Tarek, of all people, gets the shutdown on the Echo, but yeah, it looks like JRGC just climbed their way back into this one and are looking in a great spot right now.
Yeah, just a lot of fights here from Rat Tactics that they tried to take, really didn't need to take, and just ended negatively for them. Mistborn is forced to pop ulti here. Just the
Ziggy
aggressiveness.
a little caught out here, but not enough. And yeah, Nos now just face tanking Garen. Doesn't even matter. Just going to spin away. Might be able to chase him down, but does look like the ult came out. But Seacat kind of in the middle of 3 people, and Prison Mike goes in, but isn't really to get much off. They are going to get this mid-tier 2 or mid-inner turret, and Echo's back here. He might be able to look onto Ziggy. Doesn't have flash up yet, but is going to be up very shortly. And yeah, they're just going to back out. Inhib's still up, so... And man, you just look at the healing on this Zach. He just healed to full health after killing those Raptors. That's crazy.
Yeah, it just looks like Rat Tactics is facing a really difficult wall right now to overcome and try and get any footwork done, or sorry, cat's attacking. Any way to like get back into this, just really hard. When
Yeah, and I
lose a
just
lead
think,
like that.
yeah, and I think maybe Rack Tactics were like, oh, we're ahead, we're doing well this game, and they just started taking fights maybe they normally wouldn't or that they just shouldn't. But they just needed to stick to the 5v5. But yeah, now in this situation, down 5k gold, still a little bit on this Baron, it looks like. But yeah, now you have Tryndamere just face tanking you, hitting this turret, and it's really hard. Like, Garen really needs to focus the minions, but he's just getting all in by the Tryndamere, and Garen's just going to go down here. And we just see all in on Tom Kench here, and they might just look to end here.
Yeah, it looks like JRGC is pushing to end. And it could be dangerous here. There's still a lot of turrets up, but no, just the amount of damage coming through by the enemy team here is JRGC is just going to be able to capture turrets here and
down here.
force the Nexus.
Yeah, and it's just going to
Too
be
many
a
people
clean...
dead on timers.
Oh, they are going to try to get Byzanski before they end the game, and he does live, but that's going to be a quick 3-0
is going to be
3-0
from JRGC, winning the championship finals, sending Rat Tactics home tonight.
Do you want to get someone for interview, or do you want to get multiple people, or...
Up to you.
I didn't know if they want to do multiple people, or... We could get someone, but...
Just we'll be right back real quick as we go to a intermission real quick. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. And are we live?
Yes.
Okay. We are back with Nas Ghost from JRGC. I guess first off, how does it feel to win the championship?
Like it feels good. Uh, we put in a lot of work, put in a lot of effort, put in a lot of time for this season, and yeah, it feels good.
For sure. Moby, you want to start with anything?
Yeah, first of
or-
all, congratulations on a significant 3-0 win. Um, you know, in an amazing performance out here from JRGC. Uh, goes a lot to show your preparation, how well you guys worked to get this championship and the chip for your team. Um, going into this draft, was there a lot of similarities to how you prepare for every team, or what did it look like for you?
Yeah, it looked about the same. We have a couple people do some scouting. We also watched the playoff match, the semis. I'm sorry, the other final, the real final, if you will. We watched that and got some notes from that. And yeah, like most of the games, or most of the scouting, just is watching games and going over stuff, and we talk about it before the series starts.
Yeah, and you five best of five bangers going into semis. It was a really great semis there as well for you. Um, going against SMR, and then here and 3-0 to finish before patch hits. I know there's a lot of concern about patch day and that happening, but it's very fortunate that we were able to get this done before everything happened. Uh, was there a world in which you guys were like studying up like the new monster and like the new jungle buff and everything that happens, or like what was your thoughts when 15.1 hits if you play on it?
Um, so I don't know about the rest of the guys. We never really talked about what to do if the patch does hit. We were just like hell bent, if you will, on having the finals before the patch.
Mhm.
Because like you said, right, like there's gonna be a whole bunch of changes. The map is gonna be entirely different, and I think for both teams, it would be kind of a disservice to have us play on a new patch that changes so much of the game.
Yeah. I see a lot from your draft where it seems pretty consistent that if it's not broke, you guys don't fix it. Where you don't change up a lot of parts. Is that just the mentality behind your team where you're not afraid to run it back?
I mean, yeah, right. Like you said, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Like,
Mhm.
True.
if the split pushing works and we win with that, we can do that. If team fighting works and we win like that, then we'll go with that. I think fighting what we do well and how it can beat what the other team does well is something that we've done pretty good for most of the season. And yeah, once we find our groove, that's what we stick to.
Yeah, and it seemed like here you guys had a showcase of different aspects of your team succeeding at various parts in different games. Where was there any part in these games, like especially the third game, where you were a little maybe concerned at all with how things were playing out?
No, I don't feel like there was any concern. I felt um relatively cool the entire time, except for the one time that coin flip killed me. Um, I did not press my ultimate when I intended to.
Yeah.
But other than that, I felt like we were in the driver's seat the entire time.
Mhm.
Through all three games.
Also, see here we have Rex. Congratulations to you and your org. Joey Rogers putting up another championship for you guys this season. The other one, I believe, being BOL, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, and Nos here was also part of that team. So
Yes.
definitely an individual that can hold his own and also is extremely well organized. As an org owner, I can't praise him enough because I can let him handle his whole team and I don't have to worry about much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll just say on that too. Like all the interactions I've had with him have been professional and went really well. Doing like point of contact stuff back and forth. So definitely, that's a great thing to have in your or a great person to have in your org.
But yeah, no, we're excited for our second win. I mean, we're a relatively new org in comparison to a lot of the other established groups. But yeah, it's kind of refreshing to start off with a little bit of a bang.
Absolutely. Will you? I don't know much to ask, but is there plans for you to return to Merc Academy next week? Do you think you'll be fitting in
Yeah,
on the
no.
roster?
So we have one of our newer groups, Calypso's Calamity, that's going to be in the gold division. And then we have another group, Armada, that's going to be in the plat division. So we will be returning.
And Ghost Crew, I'm sure, is promoting somewhere, possibly plat.
There are a group of them that are going to go to plat. I think the discussion is based around what their schedules. Because as an org owner, I treat this very much of like, hey, what days of the week work best for you guys? And I think they're going to go to plat, and we're kind of looking at leagues, but I think they're need a little bit of a push to make sure they get into a league that they really want to. But yeah, I think majority of them are ready for plat.
Okay. Going forward, that's amazing to hear. This is going to be the third season for Merc Academy, so having strong orgs is great for the league, and it's great to have you guys back. Is there anyone out there that you guys want to thank or something to before we head out for the night? Well, actually, we have one more thing before we head out for the night, but is there anything you guys want to say and thank, or anyone you thank?
You can go first, Brock.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a little toxic, but I don't really want to thank a ton of people, but I do want to like challenge more of these orgs to, join more leagues. I think that there needs to be a bigger population, and I'm really seeing a lot of the orgs kind of fade and kind of go sideways. I'm like, guys, just get your stuff together.
I think that's
and like
healthy, and I
challenge
don't think that's
it.
toxic
Like, come
at all.
on.
Yeah,
Like,
I think you're right. More orgs need to join more different leagues.
Jolly Rogers is planning to pump out 9 teams for this upcoming split.
That's
4
lot.
in plat, 4 in gold, and then 1 in emerald. And so I'm seeing a lot of other orgs kind of like die out. And, it does take more than just me to do something like this. And I have great staff and great players. And I'll thank those the cohort that's at Jolly Rogers, but I also challenge, all these other orgs. Like, step up your game. Like, get more organized, and yeah, come on.
For sure.
And Naz?
So shout outs to Rex for doing a lot of help with coaching and drafting. Same thing with Gagny. He came in and helped us with coaching and helped with coaching and our gameplay as well. Going over our pregame, figuring out what it was we were going to do and how we were going to win games. And then shout out to the team. So a funny little story. I actually made this team because there were other teams that did not accept me for top lane. So shout out to those teams for not accepting me as their top laner so that I could make the championship team.
Hell yeah.
2 championship teams. Be very clear.
Well, no. So for Merc specifically, and then again, shout out to my team for holding it down, doing it well. Prism, Mike, C-Cat, Flaccid, and Ziggy. The whole season did phenomenal. And then my final shout out has to be to SSMR, because honestly, that semifinals game, that 5-game banger, like that felt far more like the actual finals. They were the only team to beat us in the regular season, and for them to have that mental headspace to be able to come back and almost reverse sweep us was insane. So shout out to them.
And you get to you get to use that banner that I made for you.
Yes, I do. Yep.
So that's great for you. Of course, I made that mid-season, but it's great that you get to use it. So it's funny. That'll come in handy. Send me your KDA. Maybe I'll edit it in for you if you want.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
definitely talk about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us here for a quick interview. We have just a message from Academy Gold here for you guys in a second. So just hang tight real quick, and Blood Merc will be on with you guys in a second.
Hello.
Hey, Merc.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi guys. I just wanted to thank everyone for competing this season. And it was pretty fun. I'm glad we got the results that we did. Um, but yeah, no, I'm very happy with the season. And yeah, I just wanted to thank everyone for joining. Um, please keep an eye out on announcements. We'll be announcing dates for our next tournament soon. Um, I know IBSG is pretty much already set up. So we'll be announcing that pretty soon. So yeah, just keep an eye out for announcements. And get your team map ready. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
Amazing. Well, thank you all for tuning in to the finals here at Merc Academy. Rat Tactics versus JRGC. JRGC taking the 3-0 victory and winning themselves the chip here in season 2 of Merc Academy Gold. It's been a pleasure here, Hemo and I in the booth. Hemo, thank you so much, and Faye doing production in the back end. Thank you again, Merc, for having an excellent season, and Nas and Rex for joining us in the interview. You guys have all been great.
Happy to
And
be here.
I'm still Moby, so see you all later.
Peace.
Have a good night.
GG.